Hi guys, my name is Tyler, and today we're going to talk about some of my favorite animals. Now before we get to that, we have to talk about some other types of animals first. So does anybody know what type of animal we are? Well, let's think about it. We've got hair on our head. We've got little tiny hairs that you can see all over your body. Sometimes they're hard to see, but they're definitely there. So we're what we call mammals. And mammals are animals that are covered in hair or fur. Some other types of mammals would be dogs and cats and llamas and things like that. So does anybody know what type of animal is covered in feathers? They're called birds. And then my favorite group of animals is the type of animal that is covered in scales, and they're called reptiles. And I actually brought a reptile with me today to teach you guys a little bit more about them. Do you guys want to meet him? Alright, but before we meet him, we have to go over some rules, because I can't have you scream when I bring him out. That might scare him. So do you guys think that I would bring an animal that would hurt me? No, of course not. Do you think I'd bring an animal that would hurt you? No way. So, when I take Nye out, we're going to be very quiet, okay? Now, the animal I brought with me is named Naomi. I'm going to set this down while I grab him out. Now, Naomi is a reptile, so he's scaly. And this type of reptile is very long, and he likes to slither around. So he's a snake. And he's a very special kind of snake called a ball python. Here he is. So Naomi here comes all the way from Africa. And in Africa he likes to live under rocks and near trees and where it's very, very hot. Because he's what we call cold-blooded. He can't control his temperature like you or me. You know, when you get sick, sometimes you get a fever. That's when you make your temperature go too high because your body's trying to protect itself. He can't do that because his body doesn't make any heat. Instead, he gets his heat from the outside. So if it's really hot out, he'll be really hot. If it's really cold out, he'll be really cold. And he doesn't like being cold at all. So living in Africa is really good for him so that he can stay warm. If we look at him, can we see when he sticks out his tongue? What do you think he's doing when he does that? He's smelling. So snakes smell with their tongues. How weird is that? Can you smell with your tongue? Try. Go, No, you can't smell. Well, that's because we smell with our noses. Now Naomi here, he also has a nose if we take a quick look right there. But his nose can't smell. He can only breathe through his nose. So instead he smells with his tongue. He flicks out his tongue, grabs a whole bunch of scent particles, and flicks it inside and touches it to the roof of his mouth, and that's how he smells. And what he loves to do is smell around for his food. So did any of you guys bring a snack for him today? No? Do we know what type of food he likes to eat? He likes to eat mice and rats. That's what we feed him here. And then in the wild, he might even try and eat some birds or some lizards or some frogs. But here he gets just some mice or rats. Now, Naomi is not the normal color of a ball python in the wild. In the wild, they would be brown and black, not yellow and black like him. He's just very pretty. Now, I said that he likes to eat mice and rats, so do you think he's going to try and eat you? No, of course not. Look how small he is. He couldn't eat us. And even some of the biggest snakes in the world, they can't eat us either. Anacondas can get up to 30 feet long. And even those big old snakes, they couldn't eat us at all because we have our big shoulder blades and they can't get their mouths around it. They can still eat something really big compared to them though. Snakes can eat something that's 3 times the size of their head. So if we were a snake, if you make a circle above your head with both your arms, I can't do that because I'm holding things. But if you make a circle above your head with both of your arms, that is something that's about 3 times the size of your head. So if you were a snake, you could eat something that big. That's really big. But we're a lot bigger than a snake. So Naomi here, look how tiny his head is. So he can't eat something that big at all. Now, do you guys have any questions about Naomi so far? No? Alright. Well, who here thinks that Naomi and all other snakes, do we think they have bones or no? How about we do a silent vote? How about thumbs up if you think snakes have bones, and thumbs down if you think they don't? Alright, let's go. Who thinks they have bones and who thinks they don't? I'm seeing a couple different answers. Well, guess what they do? Snakes actually have more bones in their body than we do. And that's how they're able to twist into all those funny shapes that we can see them in and make themselves into pretzels. Now, who here knows the difference between a snake and a lizard? And it's not that one has legs and one doesn't, because there are even legless lizards out there. No, the difference between snakes and lizards has to do with their face. So if we look at Naomi's face here, which is a little hard to do with how full my hands are, but let's try. If we look at his face here, is he gonna hide it? We can see, is Naomi blinking? No, he's not. So snakes can't blink. Never try and get in a staring contest with a snake, because you'll always lose, because they never blink. Instead of having eyelids, they have a clear scale that goes over their eye, and it works like swimming goggles. And then also, if we look at his head, does Naomi have ears? No, he doesn't. So lizards will always have ears, and they don't always have the flap like we do, but they'll always have a hole where the sound can go in, and snakes don't. So that's the difference between snakes and lizards. So, if you guys don't have any more questions about him, we're going to let you touch him, and you can do that by taking 2 fingers, gluing them together,